Hello. Hi, everyone.
Good morning.
Hey. Hi. Hi, Peggy.
Hi, Marilyn. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. I'm good. So here we are. I have my friend Peggy here today. I'm sure my our regular watchers know her. You are one of the mods, but you're also a researcher, and you are a good friend. And we're talking about friendship today. And you've been on quite a few streams with me, and I always love to have you. I told you can come on anytime you want. You can even just whatever talk about cats. Talk about. I said you can whistle. You can whistle Dixie. I don't care.
Hey, I will talk
Anytime
about
you want to
cats
come on.
all day long.
Anytime
I
you want to come on.
I told Marilyn that I wanted to do some kind of episode about friendship, and what triggered it was if you go back and look, if you haven't seen it already, if you go back and look in Marilyn's um, videos on Sunday night, Marilyn and Steve-O did a stream together because they were having a few disagreements about some things. And so they did a stream
Yep.
together called Why Can't We Be Friends? And so that triggered in my brain, like, actually, you know what? It is really hard to make like adult friendships. So I'm like, oh, that might be a good episode. I think
and
it's
and you
something
you
most of us
and
can
you said
relate to.
you had the song in your head, and I did too. It's like, why can't we be friends? Why can't
I
we
still
be
have it
friends?
in my head. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. I think it was it I think it was actually Monday night, because I just remember thinking it was sort of like a reunion of half of the after
That's
party
right.
uh
Yeah, it was a
crew.
reunion.
So
I just
yeah,
knew my husband was watching football, so I couldn't remember if it was Sunday night football or Monday night.
Monday Night Football, right? Right. Yeah. So I think it was a great topic. And as I said to you, Peggy, I am going to lean heavily on you today because I'm like a little bit like a wet noodle today. I for some reason, I mean, my sleep's been a little bit wonky, and my and the stream yesterday, it just took a lot out of me. It was keep uh, dropping bombshells on you guys, and I'm really sorry, but I tell little bits of my story, and I had never talked about my sister very much, my sister Sherry, and when she passed away, and what happened, and how the nonprofit that I founded was inspired by her, and the process of it being coming to be, and being birthed. So yeah, I was a little bit like, I need a long nap, and I did take one. so
Good. That's good.
so here we are, and yeah, I do you mind if we say hi to a few people first?
Of
People are
course. I
coming
see
in.
some
All right.
friends here popping up.
Okay. So we've got Nico. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Good to see you. And Sophia, good morning. I
You know
love how
what?
it's all over the world.
I just saw that Sophia actually has a video with Ashley over at TSFU.
Really?
Sophia, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that I saw that you did something with Ashley. So maybe
Nice.
sometime later, I'm gonna head over to Ashley's channel and check that out because I would love. Sophia always had. She's so intelligent. She's always had
Absolutely.
what she asked. No, am I wrong, Sophia? Mm, okay, I could be lying, y'all.
Maybe
Hold on.
not. Okay. Well, if you find it, send me the link. Joel McCoy, hello,
Hi,
friend.
Joel.
Howdy, folks.
Hello to Colorado.
Lene, yes, hello there in Colorado. Lene, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Lene. Poet, hey, y'all. Good
Good
morning, Poet.
morning.
Good to see you. Auntie Harju, good evening. Yes, so uh, I think we're going to talk about that too, is having friends all over the world, right? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and we've got Co Belf, my best friend, Apostate Alex. Wait a minute. I thought I was your best friend, Co Belf. My best friend, I don't even know his name, so his real name. But I just love me some Co Belf. My best friend, Apostate Alex, lives far away and is often busy, so I built a life-size butter statue of him. that my therapist called unsettling.
Oh my God.
What's that word? So evaluative.
We need, I think we need pictures of this. We,
Definitely. CEO Bill, please email me at coffeecultsandcrafts@gmail.com because I have to see this.
oh my goodness.
So that's what you do. You build butter. Okay. Um, and that can be one of our questions today about what do you do if you're missing your friend? You build a butter statue.
Apparently.
Yeah. Okay. Sophia said, "What?" um, I'm modding. If we figure that out, anything more would be a surprise. Oh,
Okay,
okay.
awesome.
So
Cool,
maybe
cool.
with somebody else. Yep. Oh, speaking
There
of,
she is.
hey, good
Good
morning.
morning.
Morning,
And
Ash.
then
Good to see you.
Ashley will be on right after us. She'll be going
Oh,
live.
okay. Oh, awesome. Yep, we'll hop over there. All right. I think I saw Maya. Oh,
Hi,
there you
yeah.
are. Hey, Maya. Hey, Maya. Maya, are you the one who painted those the painting of Reese's dog Gertie in the manger next to Jesus and that just let me know if that's you because there is a picture of a photo of a painting on Relatable Reese's Facebook group, and I am just blown away. Oh my god, I think it might be my just I just want to make sure it is, but yes. Oh
Oh,
my god, she
awesome.
is amazing, amazing. Like yeah, everybody's gotta check that out. Just
So
blew me away.
Marilyn, we need a painting of her two babies.
Yes. Actually, somebody offered, a friend of mine that is maybe here today. I'm not sure if I haven't seen her yet,
Awesome.
but I don't wanna spoil the surprise, but yeah, she was said, "I'm looking for pictures of my puppies that" Duncan's a really good, photographer, so oh, parasocial relationships are my fave. We are gonna talk about that, right, Peggy?
Yeah, for sure. And
Okay.
Ashley is a really good parasocial friend of mine, except
Yes.
I have gotten to meet her in person. So that was fabulous.
Nice. Lucky you. That's great. Okay. So, do you want to just, introduce what we're talking about or do you want me to start asking questions or how do you want to do this? Cuz I'm I'm not letting you, but I'm asking you, I'm begging you to please take the lead today.
No, I've got it. You're good. You're good. I told Marilyn I have 3 pages of notes, so I am all good. Actually, I did have some interesting things I wanted to talk about before we get too far into it. So I was researching what, like, how, why is it so hard to make adult friends, and, um, you know, all of us, like we said, are parasocial friends. Like we're online. Most of us haven't met in person. A lot of us aren't even ever going to meet in person, but we're just going to be good friends online, on the phone, texting. Like I talk to Marilyn on the phone or we video chat, but we may possibly never meet. I hope that's not true, but
Yeah, I hope we
um,
do.
I was telling Marilyn yesterday that one of my absolute best friends of all time is somebody that I never met in person. We got together when we both had very small children, and we were both in the same like mom's chat room, like message board thingy, back in the early 2000s, and we remained really good friends through a lot of different friend changes. Like we were in this friend group and then that friend group, and we had like an email loop that we had with a bunch of people, and eventually it had just whittled down to the two of us, and we
Oh,
remained really, really good friends. She did pass away earlier this year from terminal cancer.
sorry.
So thank you, one of my biggest obvious regrets is that I never met her in person, but we've talked on the phone, we text every day, and when she was diagnosed with terminal cancer, um, a lot of people stopped talking to her. a lot of friends left, which is something I wanted to talk about a little bit later. And when I wanted to bring up a little bit later why it's hard to like maintain friendships. It's hard to make friends as an adult, but it's um really hard to maintain those friendships, especially through years and through all of our life changes and stuff.
Mhm.
So for anybody who doesn't know, I'm an Army wife, and my husband's been in the Army for 26 years. We've been together for 24 years. So ever since the year 2000, when we got married, um, I've been moving across country. Let me see. I had to figure it out last night and I wrote it down. So I've lived in 7 states. Four of them I've lived in like twice, like I've moved back to. I've moved 10 times cross country since 2000. Um, and then the last couple years since 2014, so for the past almost 10 years, I've actually moved on an average of 1.5 times a year. So ever since
Wow.
2014, I've moved every 1 or 2 years. So I'm constantly on the move. I'm constantly having to make new friends. I'm constantly like leaving some friends, making new friends. I'm at the kind of at the point where I don't really want any more new friends, like in person new friends.
Right.
So I moved here to California this past July. And I'm like, I'm only going to be here for a year. I'm actually moving next June again already. And I don't like making friends to me here in person really is not super important to me. Morning cat. Um so I do have a job here and I do talk to people, at work, but I'm just mm, not super interested in making, a friend. Yeah, Steve-O, I don't know if you heard, but you were the inspiration for this.
Steve-O, you're an inspiration. Yeah.
So I did do a little
Yeah.
bit of research.
Yeah.
Like, actually, there is a science behind why it's so hard for adults to make friends and why
Really?
it's hard for you to maintain friendship. And most of that has to do with um, our own, like, thoughts about ourselves. You know how, like, you think, I'm not good enough, nobody's going to want to be my friend. Or if you're like, you meet somebody you like, you're out and about, you meet somebody you like, and you're like, yeah, yes, you were. And you're like, oh, I really like this person, but it would be really dumb for me to ask for their number, or it would look really weird for me if I asked for their number. And I think that happens to people a lot. You think that like, oh, they probably don't like me that much, or you're just most people just don't think highly enough of themselves to be like, hey, that person probably liked me, I bet.
Right.
So it's hard to just go up to somebody and be like, yo, I really liked you, can I have your number? But according to the science, that's what we're supposed to do. When we're out and about, we meet new people. If you find somebody you like, you should say, hi, can I have your number? I really enjoyed spending time with you. Or I think a lot of ways that we try to keep in touch is right now is through social media. So we don't even
Right.
have to ask for people's numbers anymore.
Right.
We say, what's your Facebook or what's your Instagram, we won't talk about the other one because somebody's ruined what used to be Twitter. So,
Right.
um,
Yeah.
but I wanted to read something real quick that I
Yeah, go
found.
ahead.
It says, oh, okay. So this is from a psychologist, and it was on an article that I found on NPR. Um, Sociologists have kind of identified the ingredients that need to be in place for us to make friends organically. And they are continuous unplanned interaction and shared vulnerability. As
Hmm.
we become
Interesting.
adults, we have less and less environments where those ingredients are in play. So part of the reason why we don't make friends as easily is because we aren't in those social situations like you were when you were in school. Even college, you're still in more social situations than at work. Like some
Mm.
people work, with maybe two or three other people, or you could be like Steve-O, he works from home. You know, um, my dad, he went from working in an office with a lot of people for over 20 years and always having some type of social engagement, you know, then he got laid off due to like cuts and stuff. And then he ended up working from home. So he went from having all these people to talk to every day and keep up with their lives. And a couple of the women around him used to have small children, and he would like give them presents for their birthdays and cute stuff like that when you're in an office setting or something like that, you get to know the people around you. Then he went to working at home, and I know he got really just down.
Mm.
That affected him a lot, just
Mhm.
being by himself day after day. That was hard on him, you know um
Yeah.
that's another thing that I wanted to bring up too, was the quarantine and how hard it was for us. Um, I mean, people lost a lot of friends during the quarantine. Like, if you didn't feel like keeping up with someone, if you weren't returning messages, we were all kind of down. We were all kind of depressed.
Oh, yeah.
So I've seen
Definitely.
it. Oh, I saw Kat, I think, say something about being a military brat, right?
Yes, I have it starred. A couple of questions she had.
Okay, before I
Cat.
go farther away from my military experiences,
Yep.
are you obsessed with keeping boxes? I'm an RV brat. I hold on to every box I get. Oh, what kind of boxes?
Is it, like, in case you have to move? Or I don't know. I don't
Oh,
know. You have to clarify that.
okay.
Yeah. She did say something else about, being a military brat has had a huge impact on how I make friends.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And so when I saw that, obviously it makes me think of my kids because, oh, boxes in case you move.
That's what I thought.
um, Sometimes, but I mean, we have transported a lot of stuff to plastic containers over the years because boxes fall apart. So, yeah, when you've had
You must
as
be a
many,
professional mover now.
my husband is.
Moved so much,
Um,
yeah.
but all three of my kids were Army brats their whole lives. So it did completely change how they would make friends because they've
Mm,
had to move so often. Um, I want to say my youngest has probably moved the most of them, but I'm pretty sure. Because he's been with me, I said since 2014 we've moved every 1.5 years on average. He's the one who's been with me through most of that. But they my kids are so resilient, and Army kids they're really resilient. There's a flower that represents Army kids, and it's a dandelion, and that's because dandelions can bloom wherever, whenever, whatever
mm,
conditions. And that's what Army brats are, or military brats are. They can shine anywhere they go. My kids have always just, gone into a new school, made some friends. Um, Sometimes it's a little hard. I know all three of the kids had to move during high school, which is awful.
yeah,
That
that's tough.
sucks.
Mhm.
I hated doing that to them. But so that's a little bit harder then. But something that I told my daughter when she was younger, she was doing like theater and choir. And I said, because you're in those types of situations, you're gonna have, because choir kids, theater kids, band kids, they get really close because they spend a lot of time together.
Yeah.
They go to competitions, and they spend a lot of time together. And so I told them, having an activity like that, you kind of have some guaranteed friends, right away when you get someplace. You're gonna My middle child was in theater and band, so you're gonna have these friends right away just by association of being in the same, you know, group together like that. And like I said, those kids get so close to each other.
Right.
But that it's really hard when they have to move and then they have to move away from all those friends.
Yeah.
So,
It's
but I'm really proud of my kids now that they're all adults. They're all grown up and they all have their own lives. Like my daughter has the coolest set of friends. She moved from Colorado, where she went to college, to LA because she's in the film industry. And I mean, she's just made so many friends out there. Like she has two pretty large friend groups, and she's 26, so she's getting to that point. Eventually, once you get closer to your 30s, it starts to get harder to find those friends. But I'm really proud of how great she's done out there. My middle child, he's in the military now, and same thing with him. He's made a lot of friends. He actually met his fiance in basic training, and they're getting married in December. So, and my youngest just went to college in Colorado at Fort Collins, and he just made a bunch of friends. He, at this point, even though mm, he's ADHD and he may have some spectrum type qualities, he just can make friends now. So I love that. It's the only advantage to moving around that I have
mm.
found.
Yeah, Sophia said it's probably also the shared experience between military kids that helps them find each other.
Hmm.
That's true.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
If we've had a couple times where we've lived in areas where there aren't very many military people around us, and so they've had to make just friends with the locals and stuff. But yeah, if there's military people around, my kids will find them for sure, because it's the same thing as like in a cult. It's a different language. They speak the
Yeah.
same speak.
Yeah. Yeah. Joel grew up in Aurora, Colorado when it was a military town, Army and Air Force. There were so many kids that were there and gone. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah,
Yep.
just in and out. Mhm.
I've had sorry, I've had local kids tell me before that they don't even like making friends with the military kids, because then their friends leave, and it's really
Mhm.
hard on those local kids in military areas where your friends are constantly going in and out.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry, I just have to pop this up. Oh, okay, see you, Bill. But you say he's just a friend. But you say he's just a friend.
Oh
Oh, baby,
baby,
you
you
got
got
what
what
I need. Anyway, sorry about that.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a
thanks.
pretty intense. Yeah, I don't mean to, be distracting, but it's a tough subject for me too, because I always wasn't a military kid, but or like a churchy equivalent of that would be like a missionary kid. I did
Right.
know some
Mhm.
missionary kids, and we were always taught that we were called a peculiar people, that we were in the world but not of it, that we couldn't be what they called unequally yoked with unbelievers. So I didn't always like the choices I had in in my church of friends I had to have. And there weren't that many choices at all. And it was really hard to make friends because in school, I was in the public school, but I was in the world, but not of it. Right. So I sort of felt like a freak. And
Mhm.
because of my background with, the trauma and just feeling not never feeling like I was measuring up in the church and going to hell in a handbasket, whatever. So yeah, I guess it has carried into my adult life too, like you said about people being kind of afraid to make friends, not feeling worthy, not feeling like you really have anything to offer, and
Mhm.
I do get kind of, I guess it would be like feeling rejected pretty easily, but
Yeah.
trying to get over that. But I was just thinking of some things like just some basic questions, but probably good
Mhm.
to cover is like, What do you and I know there's some pat answers for this, but there's also some nuances I think too is and I'm putting this out to the chat is think about that while we maybe go through some of the questions because we got quite a few start already because this is really
Sure.
striking a chord, and then
Yeah.
maybe people can answer the questions, and
Yeah.
then we'll do a fresh new group of comments because there's some people commenting on what you've said so far. So what do you like? What do you look for in a friend? And let's see what else I was gonna say. Well, yeah, let's start with that. What are some of the traits that you look for in a friend, or what are some of the things that you love about your best friends, or maybe that you don't like so much? Just kind of want to throw that out to everyone. And we got a couple of comments. I'm gonna scroll up here. Ash said, Marilyn, you and Duncan inspired me. I'm bringing my man on today. Yay!
Hey,
Awesome. I can't wait. I'm definitely going to hop
your
over there after this. Yep.
partner is so great. I love him. He's such a good guy.
Yeah. Martin, right? Is that?
Martin.
Yeah.
Well,
Awesome.
Ashley says when we were on our retreat in Miami, he was with us and we were all teasing her because Ashley says Martin, like she enunciates the T. And normal people would say Martin,
Right. Martin. Yeah. Yeah.
So she says it really cute. So if for nothing else, go watch her streams
So,
with
yeah. That's,
Martin.
yeah. That's going to be fun. Poet, the people I count as friends in real life, I've known for 30 years plus. I can count them on one hand. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I can't even imagine. I don't have any childhood friends left. I don't have any friends from middle school or elementary school. My husband and I went to high school together, but we were not friends in the least. We didn't even hardly know each other.
Really?
Yeah, I was best friends with his sister. And so I hung out with his sister all the time, but their family wasn't like the super close kind of like my kids, like when the kids got older, they would even take like the younger siblings out to hang out with them and stuff. And my husband Andrew, his family wasn't really like that. So I just knew his sister, and I barely even knew their parents when
Yeah.
she was one of my best friends ever, and I barely even knew their parents until Andrew and I got engaged.
Wow. Wow. That's wild. So I had this start still, Steve-O said this might just be the most important topic spoken about all year. And, he's probably joking, but he might not be because
Yeah.
a lot of us do work from home. A lot of us don't really leave the house that much. And I think you're right about like the pandemonium, as Paul would say. God, I don't know if we can still not say that. It kind of like started this whole like almost a new norm in a way,
Yeah.
because I've made a lot more friends online since then, that's for sure. And even some of the ways we used to conduct business, like now, sometimes I'll have the option of actually talking to my doctor on the phone instead
Right.
of on, in person, which I kind of
Mhm.
like not having to go for every little thing anymore.
Right. Yeah. Hmm.
So, oh, Ash said, Peggy, you should talk about this on your channel, being a military partner. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people can relate, definitely.
My
Yeah.
channel is up and coming. We're getting there.
Yes. I can't wait to start promoting it. But this stream is simul
Yeah.
streaming to your channel. So you'll
Right.
you'll already have content.
Yes.
So this is
Yeah.
great. Yep. And the one that we did, that was one of my favorites. I mean, the ones I do with you, I always love all our streams, but I love when we get into the cult ones, like the Gwen Shamblin one. I
Yeah.
was just like, oh, I couldn't wait to deep dive into that one. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I feel like we could do even more streams on that one. But,
Oh,
so
absolutely.
yeah, Lene said, don't fall in love with someone in another state that you met on another channel.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
don't fall
Is
in
that from
love.
experience, Lene?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I
I
can
I
agree
am
with that. Don't
kind of
fall
glad.
in love with someone you never met in real life. Yeah.
Mm,
What do you think about that, Peggy? The online dating thing.
you know, it's hard because like I I told you guys about my friend, um, her name's Judy, and like it's not my brain actually is spitting out 50 different replies right now. So um obviously, like, I loved her very dearly. It wasn't a romantic relationship, but it was one of those, back and forth, like, we definitely reciprocated the friendship, and it was, sometimes she had to hold me up, and sometimes I had to
Mhm.
hold her up. So I'm thinking in a romantic type relationship, you can have that connection without the physicality. There are people that can do that. It's just there are a lot of people that need the physical part of the relationship. So I think it all depends on, you know, who you are, what kind of relationship you're looking for. But it is really scary because you don't truly know. You
Yeah.
really don't truly know what is on the other side of that. And that, I mean, you could get burned bad.
Yes.
It could even be somebody just straight up scamming you, trying to get money or
And
you
that
know.
has happened a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's happened quite a few times. And I always find it interesting that, whenever I'm sorry, I laugh. I can't help it. Whenever I get a friend request from, somebody that has, like, either a very, like, John Smith type name or a name I can't pronounce. Those are, like, the two opposites, right? And it's always, like, either, like, this handsome middle-aged guy that's military with a military uniform or a doctor white coat or some headshot that's just stamped out, and there no mutual friends, no posts, no nothing. But
Uh,
it's just interesting, that the type that they typecast is usually military or medical or something, and it's always this, like, very distinguished looking man with a little bit of salt and pepper hair and stethoscope or the stripes. I was like, the poor guy, whoever that real the picture really is, but
right.
it isn't that very apple pie. It's like that's the image that
That's what
is out
they
there.
think that we think a friend is. Yeah.
Yeah, or no, potential, like, love interest, it's like
Oh, right.
yeah, because it's always like, "Hi," I think, and it's a lot of times, not being, not judging or anything, I'm just saying, like, a lot of times it's, like, broken English, or they're just,
Yeah.
that they're not really, you know, John Smith, you know, I don't
Yeah.
know,
And
sergeant
then
whatever of the what, you know what I mean? It's like, okay,
yes.
wait a minute. But I think that's what people think, like, of, like, we have these, like, desperate, housewife types that are looking for attention or whatever, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna put that type of image out there, and they'll fall for it. So yeah, I think people have gotten smart to that, but in the
Yeah.
past, it has been an issue. There's been a lot of catfishing, and there's been
Oh,
2020 episodes and all kinds of, and you know what though? Education is a good thing, because now,
absolutely.
like, I remember my mother-in-law calling me up and just being like, this person's trying to call me and scam me. And she was 90 years old. She got to the
Mm.
point where she refused to answer her phone, even when her actual doctor was calling,
Oh, oh,
or the visiting nurse or whatever. And I was like, Bing, you got to answer the phone sometimes, but yeah,
oh.
but it's scary. It is
It is,
really
it is,
it is
it
really
is.
scary. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful.
Mm.
Joel said, "A lot of people are afraid of people. They panic if they have to speak to a group. It is human, fear of rejection." My 2 cents anyway. Yeah, fear
Mhm.
of rejection, that's definitely, yeah, I still shake. Like, yesterday, I was shaking when I was doing that little presentation about the nonprofits, and
Oh,
yeah, it's like, I don't know, I was just worried that I would come across the wrong way, or wouldn't be clear, or everybody would just, like, unsubscribe, you know?
oh,
Yeah. So, Ash said, "I have interaction with no one in person unless it's very intentional because I work at home." Yeah, that's pretty
mhm.
common.
Yeah, her and
That's
her
pretty
partner
common.
work from home, so they can
Yep.
definitely get in that groove where you're just in your house day after day and not really leaving it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, a lot of, you know, people in the chat can really relate. Like Poet said, I'm semi-retired and live out in the middle of nowhere. Having a social life is very difficult. The
I
travel time is
know.
a factor. I know how
Yeah.
that is. Yep.
Yeah.
I only leave
Right
the house
now,
a couple times a week.
right now
Yep.
I'm super isolated. I live like in the Mojave Desert, kind of near Death Valley, and we're just this tiny little army base, and it's 40 minutes to the next town. Like there's
Wow.
nothing out here.
Mm. And is it still really hot there right now?
No, it's nice. It's like in the 60s, which to me is really nice weather, but I guess to people who have lived here a long time is very cold. I don't know. People are all
Mm.
bundled up in jackets and stuff, and I'm like, okay, it feels good to me.
Kat said living off base was the hardest. You don't have the same shared experience. So
Yeah.
you always lived off base?
Mm, we've lived on one, two, three. This is only the third army base I've actually lived on, or fourth army base I've lived on out of the eight. So I think it's about half and half. But
Mhm.
we prefer to not live on post as much as possible if we can. We've owned, we've bought and sold four houses. So we've bought houses around where we've lived and stuff.
I'm just starring some questions or some comments. All right. Sorry, just kidding.
Oh,
Wow,
it's fine. It's fine.
the chat's been really active. That's great.
I
That's
know,
awesome.
it's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think a lot of us can relate. You know.
I think another thing people can relate to is, um, when my kids were young, most of my friends came through their experiences and their activities because, like, with theater or choir or band, the parents end up spending a lot of time together too. Um,
Hmm.
so
Yeah,
it it
absolutely.
was
Yeah.
yeah, it was easier to make friends in the way
Yeah.
that we're always together, and that's what the science, the psychologist had said, continuous unplanned interaction. So
Yeah.
uh, getting together with people, and it's not really like you're just out doing stuff, and then you're like, oh, I got to go to this meeting for school. Or like I was a Girl Scout leader. I was my daughter's Girl Scout leader for several years. I coached several of their sports when they were younger. I've always been really active in their lives and their activities. And once my kids got older and I started graduating, or didn't really need me as much anymore for stuff, then I'm like, okay, how do I make friends now? I'm not, because I used to be like in their schools all the time. I used to be volunteering. I used to do so much stuff with the kids and with their friends' parents.
Yep.
Um, and now it's just kind of like, now I have to find my own things. So that's been kind of hard for me too. Like going and
Yeah.
volunteering on my own, or, going to, like, I cannot go to functions on my own. Like if there's something going on, some type of party, some type of function, and I have to go by myself, I will probably cancel. There's no way I can do that. I'm
Mm.
not really secure enough in myself that way. Or even like in the military, there's constantly get-togethers, constantly. Like this weekend, my husband has three different get-togethers he has to go to. Next week, he has three so far. This is, I mean, things get like
Wow.
next week he has three things he has to go to. So he knows that I don't enjoy that stuff. So he'll ask, hey, I've got this thing tomorrow night, and I'll be like, nope, I'm good, thank you. 'Cause I have a hard
Yeah.
time going
You
to
could.
those things.
Yeah, you could end up probably out every night of the week. You know.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. My kids are, they're in a band, but they have a band and they have several gigs, and that is kind of like my social life right now because other than, like what you're talking about the pandemonium, I used to go out a lot more and have like just interactions with people doing like, I never really got into not into like the MLM type thing, but people would invite me to one of their parties or whatever, and I would go once in a while. I would go maybe every 3 or 4 times, like like every fourth time that they'd ask, or I would go, just to like different things that you get invited to, and then it was kind of an excuse to not go anymore once the that hit and you
I
were
know.
in the house, but yeah, so going to my kids gigs, and it gets kind of expensive after a while too because they play at a lot of venues that like is like a dinner type situation, is expensive, so I usually go like once or twice a week, and we always have like family dinners and things. But I'll tell you this SPTV, thing, I could be on right here, whether I'm on live or not, in StreamYard. You know how it is, Peggy, or talking on Messenger or email or this or that, 24/7. And
Yeah.
I, that's another thing too. I want to bring, kind of put out to all you guys is how do you manage that? Like even if you're not a creator that's on, doing lives all the time, there's so much interaction happening, and it's like I don't want anyone to feel rejected, but I there's no way I could, and I'm not saying that in any way of like, oh, don't bother me, but there's no way I can answer every single interaction that goes on. We've got the Facebook group, we've got chats going on in there, we've got email, we've got all kinds of things. I do try to scan everything. I read all the comments on my videos
Mhm.
and everything, but I can't interact with everyone, or there just isn't enough time in a day. So
Right.
it's really hard to kind of pull yourself in and like remember that you're only one person, and I have made some very meaningful friendships, cultivating meaningful friendships in the modern world or cyber world or whatever you want to call it. um Peggy, you are one of my go-to
Mhm.
people. Sometimes in the middle of the night I see you're on and we talk, because we both have insomnia, which is kind of convenient. So yeah, I'm very grateful for this space and for the relationships I've made. But yeah, we've never seen each other in real life. But I think that there's one thing that I liked what you said, kind of just sounded off something in my mind, was like, oh, shared vulnerability. I liked that phrase. I feel
Yeah.
like that you start sharing your life with somebody, and you have like a common bond, because I don't want to say trauma bond, but the genuine interaction, and almost like if I feel like a relationship is totally one-sided, where somebody wants to just trauma dump on me all the time, and I try to say, oh, I can understand, and then they just cut you off. It's like, okay, I'm not going to try anymore.
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
know yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Um, yeah, and I think it's so much easier to share that vulnerability when we're like behind a keyboard or texting, even like with my husband, I'm actually more comfortable texting him some things than telling him to his face.
Right.
It's funny, but when we're online, like I've told more people things online than I've ever told anybody. Like there are so many people that know like my full background and my full story that I don't feel comfortable talking about very much. And it's like because it was so much easier to not have to look a person in the face and tell them.
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes, like, like I say to Kelly all the time, is like, "Oh, when the spirit moves me, that's when I say something," right? And I didn't, in the beginning when I first, started this space, I was scared. I was like a deer in the headlights, and I just wanted to, uh, get my story like out there, and it was very much overview, and funny or not funny because I've been very slowly telling pieces of it.
Mhm.
And yesterday was another piece of it about my sister. And I think it was you that said to me, Peggy, like every week I find out something new. And
Yeah.
it's usually me spilling it here on a live. But I've gotten to the point where I really love this group. People in the chat and everyone's just been very supportive. And I don't know you all personally. I mean, I feel that I know you personally, Peggy. I mean, we've talked so much. We video time like this. I've seen your cats and your kids and you know what I mean? Like we have
Yeah.
shared our life, right? I know
Uh-huh.
you're not some like creepy old man pretending to be Peggy, you know?
I
So
promise I'm not.
no, I know. I know. Yeah. So yeah, I've just been as I feel comfortable, it comes out. And then, the two-part interview that I did with Doug, I got a lot of feedback about that, mostly positive, like very supportive. But it was
Mhm.
also like people were annoyed because they're like, how come I don't know this? Why didn't you tell this before? Why did you tell it to Doug?
Oh my
Why him?
god.
What? And I was just like, what? Like,
Oh no.
number one, Doug asked, and he made me, I mean, we talked for hours several times before doing those interviews. And he made me feel very comfortable, very heard, right?
Mhm.
And because he asked, he's like, start from when you popped out of the womb. And I was like, really? Like I haven't even gone there with in my mind for years. So yeah, just making yourself vulnerable. And I think that makes other people feel like they can open up too, because it's like a trust thing. It's like, okay, you've shared that with me, therefore I feel comfortable sharing little pieces of myself with you,
Right.
if that
Mhm.
makes sense.
Yeah, oh,
Yep.
absolutely. Um that's part of the reason why I'm so open about my mental health when people don't really like to talk about mental health out in the open still. It's still got the stigma. But I'm so open about it because I want people to understand, well, I want people to understand why I'm crazy and why I'm weird sometimes because it's got some serious issues. But I also want people to know that they can come to me and talk to me about mental health anytime. I actually have on this little backpack that I wear, I have a button that says you can talk to me about mental health because
Oh,
I just like I am fine if you need to come to me and be like, "Hey, I just got diagnosed with depression. Or I just got diagnosed with
mhm.
ADHD," or, "I think my child is depressed." I have people that come to me with a lot of different um, mental health type issues, and I think it's because I've made myself so available and I've talked about I've had like a chronic pretty much lifetime depression ever since I was a teenager. It's never gone away. I've been on and off meds for ever since I was a teenager. It's I don't feel it's something that's ever going to go away, but I can manage it as best as I can. Um, and that makes it a little hard for me to maintain friends, and that's the maintaining part of it
Right.
because I get in serious funks. Like, there's going to be times where I'm not going to contact you for maybe a couple weeks, maybe a month. And when I have people around me that understand that, oh,
Mhm,
Kim, I know, I
mhm.
know. I mean, I feel like I am building my tribe now between the That's So Effed Up group and the SPTV group. I'm really finding people that are so much like me and that understand me. And that, like I was saying, I've lost so many friends because I do drop off the face of the earth, or I have ghosted people before, or um sometimes it's even been like a year, and it has nothing to do with you. And I want to one of the things that was said in the article that I wanted to bring up was, you can just ask people. If somebody hasn't contacted you for a month, you can say, "Hey, what's going on?" Send them a text and be like, "Did I say something? What's going on? Is there anything I can do?" Because chances are it had nothing to do with you whatsoever. But it's scary Yes, absolutely, Ash. Absolutely. And then another reason why I'm moving back to Colorado is so I can get me some, MMJ back again.
Mhm.
It's what I cannot have on an army base.
Right. Right.
um, but um, what was I saying?
Oh, sorry, I plopped that up. I'm
It's
just
okay.
popping things up because I don't wanna, like if I start everything, but if it distracts you, I won't keep popping things
No,
up.
you are totally fine.
Okay.
Totally. Oh, yeah,
Okay.
contacting people. So
Yeah.
my sister, just very recently, my sister had this issue where a friend of hers stopped contacting her, and it was somebody that my sister hung out with every week or every couple of weeks. And over the summer, this lady stopped contacting her. So my sister did send her a text and say, did I do something? What's going on? The lady replied, "Oh, I've just had a really busy time right now."
Mhm.
So my sister waited about 2 more months, and when there was still no contact, which I guess isn't like this person, my sister texted again and said, "Hey, what's going on? Like, I miss you. Is there anything that I did?" And the lady still said, like, "I'm just really busy right now." And I think that hurt my sister far worse than if she would have said, "Yeah, actually, you said something that ticked me off," or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
My sister felt more betrayed because she was lied to, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been something that I've had a hard time with. I mean, I can almost relate to your sister's friend because I have done that, like, rather than confront something, I
I
just
have
kind of, like, go away, and
yeah,
trying not to do that, especially, like, if it's somebody that, I really care about and, I really want to, uh, fix the relationship or at least just express right or wrong, there's no I don't think there's a lot of times there's no right and wrong, right?
right.
But to be able to discuss awkward things, it's really hard for me. I mean, I could speculate. It could be from when I was in the call and, you could like you just have to agree and you just have to like go along with things or whatever. And then when, things get uncomfortable, like in now that I'm out, I got out. I just kind of like I don't want to deal with that. So I just kind of like ghost the person. And I'm really trying not to do that. And it's working out pretty good for the most part. Sometimes I feel like it'll I don't know, not damage the relationship, but kind of put it like set it back. But maybe sometimes the relationship gets like some of my friendships have gotten almost like I said earlier, feel a little bit one-sided or feel like the person's just getting a little bit too much in my business or whatever like you can get to where you almost feel suffocated and you have to make a
Right.
correction.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah, you have to make a correction and or it feels like you're putting way more into the relationship than they are or they're getting a little
Mhm.
demanding or and it's my I realize that it's my fault if I um just either ghost the person or just keep giving and giving and giving and being resentful about it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that. Nobody wants somebody just yesing them to death and all that. And sometimes I think we all need a little bit of honesty because then we can correct some things if it really is something that's a
For
pattern
sure.
in someone's life.
Mhm.
So I'm
Sure.
working on that.
I
you know
know. I know. It's hard. I've always been a conflict avoider, like for pretty much most of my life. I've avoided it. And like you said, like I have ghosted people. I have just, one time I wanted to tell you this. Speaking of ghosting, one time I actually closed my original Facebook account and made a new one and only added back like a small portion of my friends because I just was in a friend group where I felt like I was being a target and but I'm also a highly sensitive person. I'm such a sensitive person that I can take things way too personally. But I
Mm,
felt like I was the target in this group, and I had people messaging me going, "Oh, so and so's talking about you behind your back. So and so's talking about you behind your back." And I got to the point where I'm like, you know what? They
mm,
were all parasocial friends. They weren't, the entire world to me, but I just deleted that account and then didn't answer. If anybody emailed me, I just didn't answer their emails. I just I avoided and ignored everybody. In my mind, that was easier than trying to say, "Hey guys, what's going on? What did I do?"
mm. I like this. The hardest part of being online friends is not being able to be there for them in real life. Yeah,
Mhm,
definitely.
I
Definitely.
know.
Yeah,
It
sometimes I
was
just wanna hug my online friends, and I can't.
I know. It was
Yeah.
the hardest thing ever was like watching, my friend die from terminal cancer and not being able to get there,
Yeah.
not being able to do anything about it. The few times I had planned a trip out to see her, she had gotten really sick and asked me not to come both times.
Mhm.
Um, so it was hard, and all I did was just listen,
Yeah.
anything she needed to complain about or vent about, anything, you know, I just wanted to listen and just be there for her, and it's because that was all I could do. I sent
Mm.
her a lot of, like, goodie boxes and stuff.
Yeah. So she knew you cared, and yeah, yeah.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, a
I
couple
think that's
days
awesome.
I have a text that I saved. It was about a week before she passed, and she said, "I don't know what I would do without you." And I
Aw.
said, "I don't know what I'm going to do without you," because she was my go-to. I talked to her about absolutely everything, for years and
Mhm.
years. Um, and so her reply was, "Well, you're gonna be a badass and you're gonna continue to kick ass and do your thing." She's like,
Mhm.
and I'll be watching you." And so I
Aw.
saved that text, I like printed it out.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I get yeah. That
I
I
know, you know.
yeah, it's okay.
I So she passed in the middle of
Well, you're the
May.
one that went through it, but I was just thinking about,
I know.
my sister and things, and
Oh,
that wasn't in real life thing, but, um, yeah, it's amazing how, someone who's going through that thinks about, the people they're leaving behind and almost, like, comforts them, and, um, my sister did that with me, and, like, that's it just the human spirit, it's just amazing that, you see people that are going through that, and they've accepted it, and they're trying to help you accept it, and that's, yeah, that's rough. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, and
yeah.
that's a true friend, you know?
Mhm.
So, she's still with you. She's still with you, definitely. So, you mind if I put some more things up?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Ash said, "Oh, I love avoiding awkward convos. I will ghost a family member for life rather than having an awkward talk." Yeah.
Yeah,
One of these days I might um, expound on that with something from my own life, but I don't like to talk too much about my living relatives, my adopted relatives. That they've done so much for me. I love them, but there are some really awkward relationships, and I just kind of like go coast. I just coast on neutral. And I don't really deal because I don't want to hurt them by bringing up, well, when I was a kid, you did this to me, and then, thanks for adopting me, but blah, blah, but because
yeah,
I don't want to bring all that up and cause pain, so I just kind of coast, just like, you know, be polite, but I
yeah,
don't let them totally in. And, I get a little bit of flack for not being like super loyal, like I'm going to be there and do anything and everything because I don't feel that connection. And
yeah,
that could be from who was it that wanted to talk about adoption? Maybe it was Michelle. I'd like to talk about that sometime. But
yeah,
yeah, sometimes I feel like I get adopted wherever I go. Like I'm not an ex-Scientologist, but I'm one of the few creators that regularly regularly go live and have a lot of relationships with, um, and rapport with ex-Scientologists, but they sort of
Yeah.
have adopted me, you
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. You're an honorary.
know? Yeah, so I don't yeah, I think just having my kids was, like, the first and maybe only time I ever really felt like I belonged somewhere, because you know
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. I heard you
because
say
I've
that
always been
before, and
adopted.
it always makes me sad, but, I have to just remember that it has a happy ending. Like, you are a wonderful mom, and you've got 3 amazing kids that love you, and, it has a happy ending.
Yeah, yeah, it's okay. I'm here to talk about it, and, do you feel that too, like, with your kids? Like, you were moved around so much, but you still had that the family unit. Do you think that
Yeah.
really brought you closer together?
Yeah, I have a super strong bond with my kids. And
Nice.
also, my husband's been gone a lot. He's been gone for more than half of our marriage. So we actually haven't lived together a whole lot. So I will never say I raised the kids by myself because he has been there. And even when he wasn't physically here, I could still at least send him an email or talk to him on the phone and still get help with the kids or something. But because he being in the military for so long, he has that conflict resolution, the
Mhm. Right.
conflict resolution skill.
Resolution, yeah. Yep.
um, so I do ask him to step in sometimes when I'm just, at a loss for words. But I can't, so I'll never say I raised them by myself. He says that. He says, "Oh, your mom raised you. Like, thank your mom. She's the one who raised you," or something. But yeah, my kids and I have a really strong bond, and we don't talk every day by any means. And the boys, it's harder to get them to respond to me. I'm like, I've even had points of time where I've contacted my son's fiance and said, "Is Drew okay? I haven't talked to him in like a couple of weeks."
Right,
And she's
right.
like, "Oh yeah, he's been out in the field or something."
Oh, I know. My youngest, my baby, Carter, called me during the stream yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, what's wrong? What's wrong?" Because he doesn't call. Usually, he'll call me like if he wants to know if a package got delivered or whatever. Because usually he'll text me, and I was like, "Why is he calling?" Like, kids don't really call you anymore these
Right.
days. So I
Huh?
started like, and I'm like, "Oh, my son's calling me, but he'll be okay." Because I knew that if I didn't answer, he tried Duncan. Duncan was in a meeting up in Bennington for his real estate thing, and I was like, "Okay, Haley will definitely get to me if she'd pop on the comments, if something was going on." So I was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna stay cool." And then I saw that he liked something about like my mug that I
Oh,
posted on
right.
coffee,
Yeah.
and it was on our Facebook group, Coffee Cults and Crafts. So I was like, "Okay, he's okay then." So then I called him later, and he's like, "Oh well, I had my lunch break, and I just wanted to say hey." And I'm like, "Oh,
Oh,
okay."
that's so sweet.
Because I was like, "Are you okay? Are you bleeding? What's going on? Why'd you call
Uh-huh.
me?"
Uh-huh.
But no, he was just calling to say hi. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's cute.
yeah.
Yeah, like
Wow.
my daughter calls me, and I think we probably talk every other day on the phone. But and we do text
Hey,
every single
Barbara.
day. But
Yeah.
I'm really, really I hate the word blessed. So what I don't know what other lucky
Fortunate. Yeah.
fortunate, yeah, because I don't think it's luck either, but I'm fortunate, yeah, that
Mm.
I have such amazing kids. I have such a good relationship with them. And actually, both of my boys have said this to me before, in that, how at school, like the other kids are always complaining about their parents, and my parents this and my parents that. And the boys have said to me before that they're both like, "Oh, I like my mom." Like, and kids are like, "What? How do you like your
Right.
mom?" Like, "Oh, that's a cool mom."
Yeah. I used to hate when my daughter started watching like the Disney Channel, and like the parents are always like stupid, like our parents don't know anything, and the kids were
Yeah.
just, like kind of like just lone wolves, and yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But so can I read some more? I've got a bunch of stuff starred, so I'm gonna keep going down on the list here. Uh, okay, Pup Groomer. Hey, Pup Groomer 20. Part 1. I have bad social anxiety. I don't do groups or crowds. I'm okay with a few people at a time, but more than that, and I start stressing. Been like that since I was a kid, but I've always been very honest about it. And living in a very small town in the middle of nowhere helps a lot. Everyone in town knows me. Yeah,
Mm,
I can definitely
okay. Okay.
relate to
So you
that.
like living in the small town where everybody knows you. That's
Hmm.
interesting because I don't like living in a small town where everybody knows me. I don't want to walk into the grocery store and have 5 people say hi to me. Like
Hmm.
I want to be anonymous. But yeah, pup groomer, I've had severe social anxiety. I think part of what's helping me right now is my meds, because I'm on some pretty strong stuff right now. But I've had where I couldn't even leave the house. Like, um, I never had agoraphobia, but like where you're terrified of everything and you absolutely cannot leave your house. But
Hmm.
I have had blocks of time where I cannot interact with people. I can't even go to the grocery store, or if I do, it has to have a self checkout so that I don't have to talk to anybody, you
Really?
know.
Oh,
Mhm.
wow.
Mhm. Yeah, I've had blocks of time like that, so I very much understand.
Hmm.
Um, oh, so Pup Groomer just posted up on the bottom here. Oh, I can I can put comments up too.
Yeah,
Duh.
go ahead.
I'm like, I live so far out in the middle of nowhere that the closest Walmart is 200 miles away. I have no idea.
What? Okay, that is far. Cause
Yeah,
like
yeah.
200 miles. Wow. Because I
That's
thought there's like a Walmart everywhere here.
I
Like
know.
Walmart's like the only thing too. I have Walmart like 12 minutes away,
You
35
don't
minutes
have any Target?
away, an hour away. Yeah. Yeah. Walmart and Dunkin' Donuts. They're everywhere here. Everywhere. Everywhere. So let's see what else we got. Denver Stevo. Oh, so troll. CO Bill, what's that? Margarine? Oh, is that the butter statue of apostate Alex? I'm trying to fix it. I'm gonna yeah, that if you haven't actually made that, CO Bill, you have to. And send me a picture. Yeah. Joel McCoy said, I have been blessed. I have a lot of old friends, like 30 plus years, but for me, I have no trouble meeting and making new friends, but I'm fairly outgoing. Doing as much public speaking as I have has helped.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
sometimes just doing
Okay.
it, right? Just getting out there. Um, I don't
That's
know if I'm
awesome.
an extrovert. I guess I seem like one. Like what I guess what I've learned about being like if you're an extrovert or an introvert is not necessarily that you can't talk to people if you're an introvert or but what refreshes you, what makes you, feel like happy and refreshed. And
Mhm.
I do need to kind of pull back sometimes and center myself and get refreshed that way, but I do crave, social interaction too. And
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
so
Mhm.
I guess maybe I'm both. I'm not sure. CEO Belf. Closest friends are people I grew up with. Some people I met through work 10ish years ago too. Friendships wax and wane. Yeah, that's a good point. And a friend doesn't need to be super close friend to be special. That's true. I kind of lose touch with people, but then you bump into them in the store or whatever, or they text you online. They message you online, and you're like, hey, and you pick up right
Yeah.
back where you left
Mhm.
off. I love that kind of friend. I
Me
really
too.
I really
Me
love
too.
that. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Oh, more from wow, you got a lot to say, CO Belf today. CO Belf is single. All right. I work on a
Okay.
CIA oil rig, so it'll be a while before we see each other. I am rich. Buy funds.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. Can I get this out? But
Oh no.
Buy funds frozen due to injustice. Wealthy ladies looking for love. Holler back. Not scam. Not a scam, I promise.
Oh my God.
Of course not. I love that. Oh,
I'd
you're
buy
so
into
funny.
that. I'd buy into
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I would too. I just yeah, definitely. Cat, but no hat. Oh, like cat in a hat. Cat, but no hat. I love that. That inner voice really knows how to stick the boot in. I won't ask for their number because they realize that I'm really annoying. I suck. I'm too much, etc., etc. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
know all
literally,
about that negative self-talk and not the
yeah,
positive self-talk.
yeah.
Yeah, I I do think I'm too much sometimes too.
Right,
And
right. I share too
yeah.
much and mhm.
Yeah, overshare me too. And I like I was thinking that like I had that question of what do you look for in a friendship because sometimes I've always felt like I don't deserve to even to take take control of that. Like, what do I like? Because I didn't never, remember I said I didn't really know what my favorite color was. So it's like
Right,
you can have control over who you're friends with,
yeah,
like because I was just always like I lived in a tiny town when I was adopted. Like that's your new family. Those are your friends to choose from. In the cult, that's your circle of people. I did get lucky, fortunate with my husband and I'd marry him again. But yeah, there wasn't a lot to choose from. So, but I'm glad.
I wonder if
I'm
anybody
glad I
else had
chose
their
him.
eye on him, and they were like, "Damn it, you took the only good one."
You know what? I think if they didn't then, fast forward 10 years, yes, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure because he
I'm sure.
didn't he didn't totally fall apart and implode like a lot of the other, knuckleheads that were there. So yeah,
Mm,
he's stood the test of time. Duncan gets better with age. But yeah, so I was lucky about that. But I think one thing uh, I don't know. What do you look for? Okay, I have to say, sense of humor is something that attracts me to people. You got to have a sense of humor to be my friend. I'm sorry because I'm goofy. I like you at least put up with my sick, dark sense of humor. And
yeah.
somebody who seems very reserved and classy, like even Duncan, like he's very reserved and he's seems very proper, but he can appreciate humor. Like he may not come out with it a lot, but he does. But he appreciates it and he laughs. And he always says he likes it a little bit dark and a little bit feisty, whatever. And so that I can deal with. Does You don't have to be a stand-up comedian to be my friend, but you at least have to be able to appreciate humor and not be super stiff because that intimidates me and I probably won't get past the surface with you. What
Right.
what else? Yeah, just somebody who just seems genuine and can like laugh at themselves, like kind of that. And
Mhm.
I don't know, just somebody who's honest. Like that's not always easy to have somebody be like, "Hey, Marilyn, tell me the truth." But I like that too, and I like that in my
Right.
board of directors, like I said yesterday. So, what do you
Mhm.
think, Peggy?
Pretty similar. I was gonna say right off the top a sense of humor. And like I also have a dark sense of humor. I also I can talk about dark subjects pretty easily. And I know that puts people off sometimes. And I know my daughter's said before, like, Mom, most people don't talk about things like that in like, you know, normal situations. I'm like, I just don't know what else to talk about. But I'm a suicide hotline counselor for LGBTQ youth. And so I can talk about suicide more freely. What do they say? Oh, anyway. Um I was trying to what is the other term? My brain went blank.
Oh,
For
instead
suicide.
of the S word, I just say take your own life. That's what I say. I don't know. You can say whatever you want. I don't care. I'm
Man,
not worried about it. I'm not worried about it.
my brain just had a major
That's all
brain
right.
fart. Anyways,
That's
also part
okay.
of my depression and part of the meds that I take.
Yeah. Yeah. I
My
can
brain
understand that.
locks up. But
Oh, Ash is on your channel.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yes,
My
it's
first ever comment.
let's make a banner. It is. Or actually, if one of the mods can actually Ash, you're a mod. Can you just put the link, or if you probably already have, because your handle's different than your name, right? It's not Happy Chaos Peggy, it's something else.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never actually
Oh, here it
changed my.
is. YouTube channel. Yeah. Thank you, Kat. Kat put it up. Awesome. Yeah. Please go over to Peggy's channel and subscribe, and we'll just give you some subscribers already. I know you're not trying to promote yet, but why not? You can still get some subscribers. Yeah, and like and subscribe over
Thank you.
there. Show her some love. Thank you. Nice.
Thank you guys. Um, but I do have like I said, I'm super sensitive. So I just need people who just understand. Like I think I said it before. I just need people to understand I'm gonna be weird. I'm gonna I'm gonna mess up. I mess up a lot. I'd say the wrong thing a lot. Um and I've had a lot of friendships end because of it. And in therapy, I have learned it is not because of me that the friendships have ended. It's
Right.
because they, whatever, XYZ didn't want to handle me, didn't want to deal with me, didn't want to, you know, I've had to learn that in therapy, and I have to remember that it's not because of me. I'm not the
Right.
one who,
Yeah.
it's hard for me. I've had several times where, I already mentioned that I ghosted a whole, Facebook um, group of people, but I've had several times where I've been kicked out of groups. The most recent was I was living in Kansas, and I was one of the directors in a animal rescue. Um, and there was I had been on the board, and then I was removed from the board without being told. If that sounds familiar.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um so I there was a board meeting and I didn't attend, and
Got some
I got a
subs.
oh, thank you so much, everybody. I got a call the next day from the head director, and she was basically saying, if you would have been at the board meeting, you would have known, but we voted to, eliminate your position. So we're not even going to have a director, because I was director for the cat side of it, and I dealt with, saving cats and finding them fosters and adoptions and stuff. Um, well, we're not even going to have that position anymore. We're just going to have one director over both dogs and cats. And, you know, you've just been, she said a couple things that she didn't like about me. And I didn't always listen to her. I didn't always do what she wanted, because I'm more into real animal rescue, like actually like saving lives. And she always just wanted me to just take like it's owner surrenders when owners have to give up their
Mhm.
animal. And
Oh, right. Yeah.
to me, I wanted to actually like go rescue cats and save cats,
Right. Yeah.
and she wasn't really about that, because it's easier to get cats adopted when they've already lived in a home, when they've already been somebody's pet. She
Mhm.
wasn't she wasn't into like the rehabilitation and stuff. So, anyways, long story, even longer. Um, I was removed. I was told that I could continue to be a volunteer in different ways, but I had to give up all the fosters that I had at the time.
Really?
Five. I had 5 kittens in my house at the time, and I had to give up all the kittens. She's told me you're going to do this and this and this with the kittens you have right now. So it was devastating to me
Wow.
because I thought that that entire group of people were really close friends. I thought that they were really good friends. Um, this was at the end of 2020, so we had all been through quarantine together and stuff, and we really couldn't quarantine because we, I had to go pick up cats. I had to go interact with people. There wasn't really much I could do about that, but
Right.
and get cats adopted. I wasn't going to stop adopting out cats. And actually, we had the most adoptions ever because people were lonely. But yeah, I lost the entire friend group. I lost, you know, I'm not no one would talk to me anymore, And then
Mm.
they did hire a new person as the cat director, and they did keep that position. So that was the final slap in the face.
Wow. Yeah, Kat says, I have found rescue organizations to be very political and cliquish. Has that been your experience, Joel? And Joel said, yes, it can be that way for sure.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
And
Thank
devastating
you.
is an understatement. Oh, Peggy? Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm fine either way.
That's just nasty, right, Sophia? That is just nasty.
Mm.
Jeez, and you're trying to just do good, and help these poor kitties, and they make it, yeah, they make it political, even though it's, yeah, that is true. It can be.
Yeah. I've worked for several rescues, and I mean that
Mm.
one definitely by far was the worst as far as politics and kissing butt, because the head director does have actually a long history of randomly kicking people out.
Mhm.
Um, so I just kind of thought that I was special and it wouldn't happen to me, but it wasn't that special.
Mhm. I'm just looking at the start. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ash. Super sticker.
Aw.
Thank you, sweetie. Appreciate that. And what else do we have? Oh, this was another thing that I was thinking about too. Sophia said, I grew up in a gossipy countryside. It desensitized me. I had
Mm,
a really good friend that our kids were the same age, and my kids had a tough time in the transition between homeschool, being in the call and public school, and she was the first one that befriended me that was kind of on the outside, and we were friends for many years, but there was one thing about her that I just always couldn't quite, you know, deal with, and she would call me like during the day and just want to be on the phone for hours and just completely like trashing everybody in town and just like a really super gossipy, and it is a
yeah.
very very small town. There's about 700 people in this town, and then I found out that she was kind of doing it to me too and not really telling me any things that bothered her, and I
Hmm.
put up with it, because I just really loved her, and in the past couple of years, it was I can't remember. Yeah, it was during COVID. She called me and stuff, and I was starting to hear things that she was saying about my kids. And I can put I can say this over and over and over. You know me, Peggy. I can put up with a lot of stuff. But we had sent her an invitation to my daughter's wedding, which didn't end up happening. We had to kind of uninvite everybody. She ended up getting married in the field in the middle of COVID. So
Oh,
June of 20
oh
June of 2020. So yeah, it
no.
turned out we had to cancel everything and just do it as a small, family.
Mhm.
But yeah, she didn't like my son-in-law to be and was just being not nice. And
Mm.
I started ghosting her and everything, and I don't know, like she goes, I think it was just a mutual ghost. And I see her in the I'll see her in the country store because we have a country store, and I'll
Of
be like,
course.
"Hi, how are you?" And I really do miss her, but we've never talked about it. We've never, and I'm
Mm.
not saying this is what you do, guys. I'm just saying I can't go there with her because I know that if I do, it's not gonna it's not gonna be nice because I'm gonna be like, "Well, listen, keep your damn mouth shut about my dog." You know what I mean? And I can't do. I think she knows. She knows that I know that she knows that I know that she knows, and um, you know what I mean. And it's just like, okay, yeah, nice to see you. Yeah, and that's it. And
Mhm.
if it's her birthday or something, I'll say hi. I'll say happy birthday on Facebook, but I'm not coochie coo. I just yeah. And I would never say anything about her kids. And I probably could find things to say about her kids, but there's certain things that are off limits. And
I agree.
you don't fuck with my kids. So
I agree.
yeah, and
Mhm.
the small that just kind of made me think of it, Sophia, just talking about small towns. And
Mhm.
um, I'm kind of glad my kids aren't in this school anymore because I don't have to. I only deal with people I want to deal with, and I kind of
Right.
like it that way. You
Right.
know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, Steve said Dunkin' is donuts and a fine wine. That's right. Actually, there's. I think I've told you guys. That Honig means honey in German, and we
Right.
found this honey wine that had a bottle that said Honig on it. It was the worst wine ever. It was terrible,
Oh,
but it said
no.
Honig on it, and it looked really fancy. But yeah, fine wine.
And that's
Yeah,
what I hate that about men. Like, my husband's gotten so much better looking as he's gotten older, and I'm like, "I hate you.
I know.
I've just gotten fatter."
I know. Whenever I like try to go on a diet, Duncan's the one that ends up losing weight. And I'm like, what the heck? You know? Oh man. Um, Lene, I have just a couple things that I don't know if we have the context, but I'll read it anyways. Lene, we got to know each other through photos and phone calls. It was all above board, not scary. Had planned to meet in February. We had a lot in common. It just wasn't meant to be. Yeah, sometimes
Mhm,
it's just not, right?
mhm.
Yeah, sometimes
And
it's not.
better to find out before you actually meet them.
Yes, absolutely. Cat, cat, but no hat. I love that. Thank to Tiff. I'm in your conversation. Thanks as a challenge, but so worth it being here with you, lovelies, is part of the journey. Yes,
Mhm.
I feel the same way. I really do.
Mhm.
CO Bill, your streams with Doug have been great. Yes, I think we're gonna do one this weekend. It's just we kind of put things on hold because the elephant in the room, right? Yeah, we just were like, let's just we're gonna pick up back uh, up our series, I guess, about culty language, the fundy
Okay.
language, comparing to Scientology, and then move into probably some other concepts. And I've got some questions for him that I've been wanting to know about Scientology, in as much as it has to do with the indoctrination and the thinking of it all, because I think that stuff's important. It's important for recovery, I think, to be able to understand um, how you were programmed, and very
Uh-huh.
similar to other cults.
Sure.
So thanks, Theo Bill. We will be picking that up. So what else we got? Oh, Kat. I've not really spoken before, but some of these chats really fill my soul and recharge me. Whereas most conversations I mask my way through deplete me. Yeah, thanks you all. Appreciate that. I'm so glad. They do fill my soul too and recharge me. I'm really glad. And this is yeah. So welcome, Kat with no hat. Uh, yeah, I think a lot of these streams that we do in the morning musings are kind of like a little bit of a what would you call them, Peggy? Like a little bit of like a group therapy sometimes.
I know, it is. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, I love to be able to open up and
Yeah. I'm
talk
always
about things.
obviously, 'cause I'm talking now, but I'm always, comfortable opening up here and joining in the chat and opening up in the chat. It's a good place.
Mhm. Oh, an exit plan, dealing with this is a good one. Could be have an exit plan if uncomfortable. Say you have another appointment you must get to. Yeah, sometimes you don't want to hurt people's feelings, and if if you feel uncomfortable, it's not necessarily them. It's just you feel uncomfortable, and it's okay to beg off, to get out to get out.
Right. Yeah,
I don't like to
absolutely.
stay. Yeah, like even some of my kids' gigs, if I start to get tired, or if it's like we're invited to like a private party that we don't know anybody
Oh,
and
yeah.
we only know the band, that's can sometimes be awkward. So we don't
Uh-huh.
always stay to the end because it's nice
Mhm.
of them to invite us, but that's not our, you know, social circle, right?
Right.
So
Uh-huh.
it can be awkward, and I don't like to go to those alone. I don't really like to go any of them alone if
Yeah.
everyone's not around. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Kat, I'm so sorry. I spent the majority of the last 10 years in bed, depressed, but I'm finally getting up and socializing a bit again now.
Oh,
Nice. I'm
that is
having to
awesome.
relearn how to communicate and socialize step by step. Yeah, and
Mhm.
you're not alone. You are not alone at all. So many of us, and even me, I think coming out of you know, the COVID situation, I had to, yeah, sometimes I have to force myself to get out of the house or force myself to talk to people or get online like this, you know. And
Mhm.
but once I do, I'm always glad I did. But yeah, it is a process, and there's so many. I was thinking about that. Like I think I said this to you, Peggy, is that when there was a group in our side chat on Triple C, I call it, on Facebook. There's a chat about disabilities, and what is it? Is it December 3rd? Is the national, what is that? The
Uh,
UN National Disabilities
right,
um
right.
Day
Like,
or something. Yeah,
yeah,
and there are
awareness or
so
something.
many people in these chats in SBTV land that have disabilities. And if you think of it, many are watching quite a few of these streams all day long because they are home. So
Yep,
in some ways, this could be their only social interaction for
exactly.
days, weeks, or and months
Yeah,
even.
yeah,
So
absolutely. Mhm, mhm.
yeah. Oh, this is about mental health. Ash said, "Is there still a stigma?" I guess I talk about it so openly that I don't know how other people look at it. Yeah. Yeah. Is she
Um,
going live? When is she going live? Is she already live?
I don't remember what time.
Okay.
I can look.
But yeah, it is
I
a stigma.
yeah, there is still quite a stigma, and I do have people that tell me, like, um, that they're not comfortable. I'm just opening my YouTube app quick. That they're not comfortable with me, sharing so much, or like you can share, but I'm not comfortable telling you stuff about me like that, you know?
I'm sorry. I just saw something and I is this CO Bill?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know how to sing this one. Say my name, say my name. How does it
If no
go?
one's around you, say, baby, I love you. Say
Marlene
my,
Sweetie.
say my name.
Okay, let's do this. Oh my god. We're gonna say hello from the dung heap and
Hi,
everybody drink. Cheers.
Marlene.
Drink
Hi,
your coffee.
Marlene. We hope you're doing well.
Well, I don't know about that, but yeah, I do. I don't wish anything bad on her as far as, cancer and things like that. And if you want to partake, this is what Doug always has been putting up Xenu, Marlene, and because he partakes of something else, and so do many of his viewers. So Xenu, Marlene, everyone partake. Oh my god, that's hilarious. See, whoever did that is my best friend. I love me. Yeah, I just
That
have
is
a sense of humor, and I
funny.
I appreciate a sense of humor,
That is so funny.
really. Yeah, so we got a couple more start, and I just wanted to like kind of wind down on a good note, and maybe some things that we've learned, and yeah, like what what is this that we're doing here? Like the social experiment of SBTV
It
and our
is.
friends that we've made, and
Mhm, mhm.
yeah, um,
I said that in a chat the other day, um, when it was, I think it might have been on Years and Stevos the other night. But we're talking about the division here in what's going on, and people are physically taking sides, even
Mhm.
like starting hashtags and stuff, so
Yeah, keyboard warriors stuff. I think there's a channel, there's merch being made,
yes,
there's, like, chat
yes,
groups and yeah, all
uh-huh,
kinds of stuff.
it's so
Yeah, that was
funny,
rough. That's rough.
but um I had said something about how the SPTV thing is unprecedented. Like, I don't think, from my understanding, from what other people have told me, nothing like this has ever really happened before. So,
Yeah.
I know that there are a lot of online groups that are dedicated to taking something down,
Mm,
but this is like non-Scientology people growing the community as fast as it's been growing, things like that.
yeah.
That's kind of the unprecedented part. So, um, our friendships here, it might be on like a different level than we've ever had friends before, because I personally have never sat, on a live stream and talked to a friend. Like, that's new to me.
Yeah.
Um,
I know, we're,
but
like, FaceTiming with everybody,
I know.
giving input and being together. Yeah, right now we're, 29 people, just kinda hanging out. Funny.
And then it's like, um people are upset with how someone reacted, or upset with how another person reacted, and it's like, well, we're all reacting live on a
Mm,
video, and all of this is brand new. Like, most people who are doing this they haven't been professional YouTubers for years and
no,
years, you
no.
know they're
No,
this
and they're being
so
given a
new.
platform. I don't mean to interrupt. I just keep thinking about
Mhm.
this. Is like Andrew Gold said it took him 2 years to get 1,000 subscribers, and I'm like, oh my god, like it was 2 months for me, and I didn't know what I was doing. And some people, it's 2 days. Reese
Yeah.
had 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in 48 hours. 2 days. And
Crazy.
I just love her. She's just kind of like, hi, let's talk about my cat and my dog and my cooter and my everything. And people love it. It's like, because she is very relatable. But yeah, it's just people are exploding onto the scene, and she's already got
Mhm.
what, 17, 18,000 viewer subs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you're right. It is. I don't know anything about YouTube. I still don't. But I guess this is totally unprecedented. And
Mhm.
it is like a group of people that have come together, and they just go and support everybody. And it's wild. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
So we got a couple more. Oh, I kept the Marlene Sweeney one started because I just think it's so funny. And then Denver, is this? I know in some of the chats, I think I saw it on. I can't remember if it was Liz's or somebody's. Is that's like, instead of a safe word, that's like a safe emoji to cry for help. Like that is like to tell mods to look at a thing like help. I'm being bullied. So, Steve-O, if you're being bullied, I'll have a mod check on. Wait, you are a mod. So.
You can just remove them, Steve-O. Just kick them out.
No, I think he's just, those eyeballs are just like googly eyes, like, I'm not sure. Oh, maybe because Tampa B is here? Uh, Tampa B, man, Barbara, thank you everyone in here, that is so loving and supportive. You've all changed my life. I'm serious. Yeah,
Mm.
so and she is serious, and I'm serious too. Like, I'm so glad that I've met you, Peggy, and Barbara, and all of you. Like, so many of you come every morning, and I look forward to. I don't see you, but I look forward to engaging with you. And I've made some great friendships. Kelly Copter, I talk pretty much every day, and so many, so many. So
Mhm.
it is like a common bond. But yeah,
Yeah.
what are some of the maybe the cautions and the takeaways, the good takeaways that, you know, we could kind of glean from this situation? You
Mhm.
know?
Yeah,
Like,
I was kind of thinking about cautions earlier, and we talked a little bit about red flags as far as like looking for people who are going to scam you or
mhm,
catfish you. Um
Yeah.
But there's also, when you meet somebody in person, the red flags that most people are going to brush off and ignore.
Mhm.
And those would be like, a lot of times it's like microaggression, or it's, um, what's the term for when people give you, oh, like a backhanded compliments,
Compliments. Yeah. Yeah.
stuff like that. And I always think, um, if you're talking to somebody who, one of my biggest issues is when somebody says like the words "those people" or like "the gay."
Mm.
I really listen to language, and there's a lot of microaggressions that people use every day in their common language, and so I listen to that kind of stuff, and
Mhm.
then I can get an understanding for kind of where they sit on some topics, because if you do use the term "those people" and
Mhm.
you're differentiating yourself from another group of people, whether it's,
Yeah.
Jews, of color, Muslims. If you're gonna use that term, then I'm instantly turned off. Like, nope, this probably
Oh,
isn't gonna
yeah.
go there.
Yeah.
So
There's been microaggression. That's a really good way to put it because there's been some whisperings and I just saw and I haven't responded yet and I don't know if I will because I don't like because I'm like the Hulk, right? It's like you don't like me when I'm angry. Like I don't think I can hold back. So maybe I'll just shut up. But that
yeah.
just when people are just like, what do you mean by diversity? Nah, 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 that's racist. Uh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's racist to say that you should include people of color. We weren't even Steve and I weren't even talking about people of color necessarily. Just
Right. Yeah,
some representation,
yeah,
of
yeah.
on the board of directors of the
Mhm.
Aftermath Foundation. Some representation beside upper level Sea Org members who are married, 3 couples. Okay, so that could mean anybody. That could mean people of different ages. The LGBTQ population, which
Mhm.
is represented in the creator with the creators, but not with that board.
Yeah,
Yeah, just anything. People were talking about different walks of life. People who were never in, people that were
right.
public, anything.
Exactly.
People that were public, people that were staff. So just
Yeah,
to play that reverse race card and be like, what do you mean by that? Like that burns my biscuits, and I just want to but
yeah,
that's maybe what they want. They want you to they just that needling thing. And,
probably.
not in every case, but sometimes it's just like, it's like Fluffy Dolphin or something, and it's like, "Listen, guy, shut the hell up right now, Fluffy Dolphin. It's not, you're I just made that up, so and,
Okay,
see, Bells, I just
somebody
realized
needs
that
to
thing
send
you
me
sent me, I just realized Marlene Sweeney, said something, I think it was an emoji that looked kinda dirty,
Oh,
and I popped it up, but
yeah,
whatever. That's okay.
Marlene,
See you, Bilf. Marlene, get your act together, Marlene
get
Sweeney.
your head out of the gutter.
I know. And good thing I'm blind because 'cause I'm just like, "What's that?" I like the color purple, so I was sorta drawn to it. Yeah.
Another
Alright. So
Oh, I was gonna
oh,
say
no,
real
that's
quick,
okay.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I,
Another red flag that I actually have had to learn the hard way, and I think this is gonna resonate with almost everybody, is if you make friends with somebody who's gossiping about everybody else behind their backs, and you said this with that lady that you were talking about, they are 100% talking about you.
yeah,
Um, uh, Made a
yeah.
friendship about 3 years ago with somebody, and I thought it was going to be a good friendship, and I thought she was confiding things in me. But it took
And you
maybe
think
a
there's a difference, right? Like, between because there's only, you know maybe like 1 or 2 people that I will confide in and not trying to trash the person, but like I gotta vent to somebody, but
yeah.
not
Oh,
just like, the whole playing the telephone game, you know?
yeah. Mhm.
Um, and
Mhm.
usually it has to be somebody I've known for a long time and I've known a while, and, I don't throw my friends under the bus, the people that are loyal to me, but at the same time, like, I try to go to them, but if I feel like it's somebody I can't go to or, you know, I do sometimes like bounce more of a sounding board than like a gossip. But yeah, if people are constantly talking about people that are their best intimate friends, like that's kind of what this person was doing, was like somebody she was even closer to me would be like, "Rah, she, blah, blah, blah," and usually it was like attacking her children. And I was like, I would never say anything about this woman's children that I've been friends with for 10 years, you know? And I was always so nice to her kids. I was like sort of like an aunt, you know? And yeah, that's where I draw the line, you know, definitely.
Oh, for
Stuff like
sure,
that.
for sure.
Yeah.
Don't say anything about my kids or my animals.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Totally. Pub Groomer said, I've got 179 subs and I set a goal to have 106 months. Great. I got
Okay,
that
awesome.
in less than 2. Nice.
Oh, good.
Good job. Yes, Pup Groomer 20. Check out her channel. And she grooms pups and she's got some other things on her channel too. So I'm
Yeah, uh,
subscribed. I'm
oh,
definitely subscribed.
she's also doing the crochet, the beginning crochet videos.
Oh, that's right. Yes, yes.
You
I was
want
hoping that
to
would
if anybody has been wanting
right.
to learn how to crochet, she's got some beginner videos.
Oh my
I know, I
God.
just saw that.
Oh, it's Cancer horoscope
Answer
emoji.
emoji,
Oh,
yeah.
well, like it would go that way. It looks a little bit sauce. That's why I was going to ask my kids. I was like, is this? Because whenever I ask them something, it's always something dirty. So now
Uh-huh.
I just have a dirty mind. I just think everything's dirty.
I
Thank you
know,
for
I
telling
know.
me that, Chip Buddy. Who's Chip Buddy? I don't recognize you either.
Oh my gosh.
All right. I think I'm tired.
You're getting slap
Um,
happy.
so yeah, yeah, exactly. So everybody, be careful, but what else? Like I love you guys. You know, there's a little bit of a divide about whether people should say I love you or whatever. I have different levels of love,
Mhm. Yep.
um, and in the Bible, there's 3 different words for love. There's like brotherly love, agape, which is God's love, and eros, which is like romantic love. So I brotherly love here, guys. Love you. Yeah.
Yeah, tell your friends you love them.
Yes.
I think that's
Yeah.
really important. It well, I, one day I told a friend, "I love you," before we hung up, and she said, "You know what? Nobody has said that to me in, like, months." And I was like, "Oh." So you never know. You could be the only person that
Aw.
ever tells them that, you know?
Aw.
Okay, I didn't mean to end
That's
it on
cool.
a sad note.
No, that's okay. No, it's not sad. I was just trying to Google this, and it's probably gonna be terrible or funny. What is that? Chip
Chip Buddy. Google Chip Buddy.
No, I'm in trouble here.
Oh, no, they're gonna be weird pictures.
It says, "I'm famous." Wikipedia, still not on the market. Oh, it's a sandwich filled with chips. Hot,
What?
thick, French fried potatoes. Oh, chips is in like English
Oh,
chips,
french
like
fries.
French
Yeah.
fries. Okay. The bread may be slices from a loaf or bread roll and is usually buttered. Oh, butter my biscuits. The chip buddy can be found in fish and chip shops and other casual dining establishments
Oh, the
in the
camera won't
British Isles. Okay. So is that chip buddy? Okay, you're famous. Mhm.
interesting. Huh.
All right, well, you learn something new every day. All right, guys, this was really fun. I I can't wait to hop over to is it That's So effed up live, like F
Yeah,
without the U, right? Fucked without the view.
yeah,
Uh yeah, over to Ash's channel, and because it used to be at Harlot's Jezebels, but I think she changed it.
yep. Mhm.
So I want to see what's up over there, and her partner will be on with her,
Yeah,
which is
go
really
meet her
really
partner.
cool. And thank you, Joel. Been nice being here with you all today. See you next time. Yeah,
Bye.
we'll see you soon.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.